Hosni Mubarak's final days were spent shuttling between a prisoner's cage or a hospital. That was hardly the picture of the modern pharaoh who ruled Egypt for 30 years. His regime jailed political opponents and denied Egyptians basic human rights. In 2011, that all caught up with him in the fervor of the Arab Spring. For 18 days, the world watched the protests calling for his resignation.
He had a good grip on the country. However, it all exploded when the security apparatus around him became too brutal with the Egyptian people on the ground.
Few expected Mubarak to attain power in the first place. He rose through the ranks of the Air Force and in 1975 was appointed vice president under Anwar Sadat. In 1981, Sadat was assassinated for trying to make peace with Israel. Mubarak went on to the presidency. He built up his reputation by maintaining peace with Israel, winning over the West and his Arab neighbors.
I know peace is so important to every single human being there.
During his 3 decades of power, he had a cozy relationship with American presidents and played the role of linchpin politician in many Middle East peace talks.
We honor a man who has emerged as a source of quiet strength at a time when such traits are sorely needed.
But trouble in Egypt bubbled to the surface in January of 2011. He didn't quit outright. In one televised address, he announced he would not run for re-election. But he was losing support, even from his own military. So days later, he handed power over to his vice president, but insisted on remaining as president. The next day, his vice president announced Mubarak was stepping down and the Military Supreme Council would run the country.
It's our country and not his country anymore.
Mubarak and his family were helicoptered out of the presidential palace, but he was forced to return to Cairo when he was charged with the deaths of hundreds of anti-government protesters.
Mubarak is more memorable for his downfall than he is for his accomplishments during his rule.
The former dictator faced other trials for corruption, accused of embezzling funds from the people he claimed to love. When he was sentenced, there was dancing in the streets of Cairo. Mubarak may be long gone from power today, but Egypt is still trying to rebuild.
The poor economy in Egypt and the issues that are being dealt with now is a result basically of his mismanagement of the country for decades.
Once a war hero turned world leader, in the end, Hosni Mubarak was given the dubious title, Model of Corruption. Robin Gill, Global News, Vancouver.